Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the festival. How is everybody doing? Good, good. Everyone should still have energy, right? My name is Dana Goulet. I'm a Canadian features programmer, and welcome to Mouthpiece by Patricia Rozema. This is also the opening film of the special presentation section, so it has a very special spot in our heart here at TIFF. I would like to begin by acknowledging that tonight's event is taking place on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of New Credit, the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Huron-Wendat, and the Anishinaabe. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work in the community. This film is also eligible for the Canada Goose Award for Best Canadian Feature Film, the Grolsch People's Choice Award, and you vote for films by going to tiff.net/vote. We would like to thank Creative Artists Agency for providing us with the film. And, you know, Patricia Rozema is one of Canada's most iconic filmmakers. You know, this film masterfully takes us into a woman's psyche in ways that are formally inventive, funny, astute, arresting, and incredibly moving. And for me, when I first saw the film, there were so many moments of just recognition of profound truths. And for me, I love it when cinema does that. That's the best you can hope for. It's rich, deep, and complex. It is based on a play by the same name, and it is brilliantly performed by the actors and original creators of the play, Amy Nostbakken and Norah Sadava. It is now my pleasure to welcome Patricia Rozema.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming here. I know there's a lot of demands on your time, and we don't take that lightly. I just want to say we made this with our whole hearts, and we made it with complete freedom and hope that it speaks to you. There's going to be a question and answer at the end of it. Please stay through the entire credits. There's some music that Amy wrote that I'd love for you to hear. Usually people kind of cut it off a little bit so that you don't all run away. You may if you want, but and I'm going to introduce you to the two my co-writers of the screenplay and the two performers. They mean nothing to you right now, and they will in 91 minutes. Amy Nostbakken and Norah Sadava. Here they are. Okay. Anyway. Thank you. Speak to you later. Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm very pleased to welcome back to the stage Patricia Rozema, along with Amy Nostbakken and Norah Sadava. Wow.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So we are going to begin the Q&A. So before we start, and you guys can think about your questions, Patricia, I wanted to ask you, I read that you said somewhere you realized you were making this for your mother. At what point did you realize that?
You know things in a way, and then you know them again later. And I knew, you know, my mother had passed away when I was about the age of the time that these women wrote the story. And so I thought, okay, I have that experience to offer. And when we rewrote the screenplay, or when we wrote the screenplay and kind of expanded on the play, and then I was like, finished the whole movie. And I was just walking down the street, and I thought, I made this for my mom. It hit me again. It's, you know, you have knowledge, and then you go through an experience, and you find that knowledge in a deeper way, and it hit me again. Yeah. My mother was an immigrant, like all of our families at some point. She came from the Netherlands with her family, and they were a farming family, and there was lots of girls and a couple of boys, and the boys were allowed to go to higher education, and the girls weren't. She wasn't allowed to, and that always hurt her, and she always was saddened by that fact, because she was a highly intelligent woman, and it just wasn't possible in that time. And then when she was later in life, after she and my father built up his business, she in the early 50s went and studied and got her, honors degree, and was just getting rolling and loving the fact, and was diagnosed with cancer and died. So yes, it's for her.
And Amy and Norah, you've been performing this play for many years, and obviously now it's a movie. How was it different acting for the screen after performing it as a play?
It's so different. It's barely worth comparing. It's on the stage. We also created that show, so wrote it and directed it and composed it and produced it and designed it. So you're wearing many hats at the same time, and there's an audience to react off, to mold your performance according to that evening. So there's a lot of distance, and there's a lot of things going on in your head. In film acting, it's absolutely no thinking. It's just reacting. You have to remove anything else. It's the lack of...
I like to say is think it and we will know it. Like, be it. Don't do it.
Reacting. It's just reacting.
And don't do things to the words. Let the words do things to you or the moment. Because it's so porous, the screen. Like you get it, and I think your audiences are underestimated all the time. It was kind of, I guess, the kind of insulting direction I would give to them sometimes when would go back to kind of a theatrical style is just pretend you're like a real person.
I would say also that the most challenging parts were the stuff that was directly from the play. Like there's some of the text that's directly lifted from the play. And we had to go through doing it like we do it in the play. And then Patricia would be like, great, now we got that option. We got it. Let's try being real people. Do it normal. And then we would have to, bring it way back.
You feel it when you're doing it. Oh.
But it's not just like it's not way back because you're brimming with emotion all the way through. It's just not doing that emotion.
Not showing it.
And then these two, because I think because you didn't have film training and there were no techniques you were falling back on, it was more real than lots of film actors that I work with all the time. There's another fine actor in the room here. I don't know. Taylor, do you want to come up for a second?
Yay, come up here.
Come on up, Taylor.
I didn't realize she was going to be here. Didn't she do a beautiful job? What was it like for you, honey, on the set? What did you feel like?
I felt like it was really fun. I felt it was really real.
Oh, real. Oh, that's good. And do you remember when I would talk to you during your takes all the time? Do you remember that? Was that annoying?
A little bit annoying.
Straightforward direction,
Vallée,
very effective.
The Jean-Marc Vallée, who did Big Little Lies, a Canadian treasure, and I saw the work he did with children, and before I was about to do that, I said, how did you do that? Unbelievable. Performance after performance. He said, be their internal monologue. Talk them all the way through the scene. So when she was running around and lost her mom, I'm in the background going, where is she? Oh no, is she by the pillows? No. Oh look, oh there she is. So that probably was annoying. I'm sorry.
Again, the school of straightforward but effective. Are there any questions out there? Yes, right here.
First off, thank you all so much. This was a beautiful piece. Thank you. My question is for Norah and Amy. As theater creators and having done this experience, how did this you feel inform your work back on the stage? And also, thank you for bringing that meeting to the stage, to the screen.
Oh, isn't she something? Mev,
incredible.
who plays the mother. All of these, this is their screen debut. These two, Mev, Taylor, this is their feature debut. Anyway, yes,
So-
Mev is astounding.
Yeah, she's anyway, I'll go to the question, which is you guys as theater creators and now this being adapted for the screen, is that going to change anything about your process or approach to returning to the theater?
We've done the play and continue to do the play since making the movie, and we haven't changed it at all. It hasn't affected the form or the structure. I would say that because it was fleshed out visually, and we have other actors playing in the play, we play all of the other characters, like the aunt and Roxanne, and we physicalize and vocalize them. And now when we do the play, I have them in the back of my head, which is, I don't know if it changes the way that I perform. I don't think it does, but it's kind of fills it up in a different way from the inside. But it's also, it's totally different. Like, we're in the process of making a new play, and sometimes catch
Which opens when and where?
It opens on October 18th at Buddies in Bad Times. It's called Now You See Her. But sometimes we catch each other doing movie acting accidentally, and we're like, no, we're doing theater now. And we'll call, it's just like kind of separate.
It's
separate
so
things.
virtuous. If you get a chance, I know that you were sort of letting that one go to rest now. But if you get a chance ever to see Mouthpiece, the play, it is a transformative experience. It's much more explosive. It's virtuosic. There's a lot of the synchronicity. It's just the two of them in white bathing suits on a stage with one white bathtub. That's the whole thing. And it's screaming and like hurling themselves. It's I would say the overall tone of this is gentler, much gentler. I think by bringing the mother to it, I think it's softer and there's a little bit more kindness towards that character.
There's also more about grief and loss in the film than there is in the play, I'd say.
Questions? I was looking at the back, but no, it's the Keener, so go here and then there.
Are your mothers living?
They're both in the room
here
right now.
Okay,
Come on.
where are the moms?
Stand up, mothers.
Mom, stand up. Stand up,
Stand
Janice
up,
and
moms.
Ann.
Stand up,
Yay.
moms. Question over here? Yes.
Yeah, my question is about, because obviously this play doesn't scream film adaptation. Did you guys believe it at first? Did you need convincing? Was it like, did you go through a process of disbelief in order to?
Well, after
So
Patricia,
hold on, I'll just repeat the question. It is the film or the play doesn't scream film adaptation. So the question is, did you guys need to be convinced that it was suitable for the screen?
It never crossed our minds to ever do any kind of screen work, ever. But once Patricia suggested it, it sounded like fun. I mean, like, to play. What do we got to lose? You know.
We also both watch a lot of films, and we were really excited about the idea of being able to use a different medium to explore the idea of duality, which was also what drew Patricia to it. And like, in the play we have just our bodies, and once we were talking about it, there was every possibility kind of opened up. So it was not there was no obstacle. It was kind of like, wow, cool, let's move forward. What's going to happen next?
I would say that what attracted me most deeply was two women playing one. That was a very, very exciting concept, and it just felt like something so true to my experience of living And when I talk to anybody, that internal debate, that dual consciousness, that conflict that we have within ourselves, I had just never seen it physicalized. And I believe film is shouldn't just represent what is visible, but is to make visible what is invisible. And I've been on that track since my first film, and I have people flying and walking on water and whatever. So that to me, I love like a Charlie Kaufman, but I also love all the theater of the absurd. And many people said, yeah, it's fine for theater, but film, I don't know. Most people, yeah. And fortunately, I live in this country where there is a kind of respect for film as an art form, not necessarily just a commercial product. Our hope is that this becomes an extremely commercial product, but you couldn't be sure because it was such an adventure in form. But I knew that it was emotionally based, and I knew that losing a parent is such a profound and eternal struggle for the whole of the human race, that it had such firm grounding and then such a playful premise. It just seemed like I was thrilled, excited to play with it. And the fact that these guys didn't have any, I said right away, I'm not going to try to take this away from you and make it something that you, like that seemed obscene to me. And any suggestion that I get some movie stars to play it seemed obscene to me too. So we just kind of went up to the cabin and brainstormed, and anything that pleased us all, either funny or sad, was put on the list of possible things. It was the film is the stage play is only an hour, so we had to add quite a lot. And I still.
But also, you came back to see the play after you had made the movie, and she said she saw it after the film was made, and she was like, "What was I thinking? This is not a movie."
I did. I had a retroactive, is that what I mean? Yeah. Retroactive panic attack at that decision. I have no strategy. I just I see, I love, I go. So that's what I did with this one. It was a leap. And then afterwards, watching the play, I was thinking, it isn't possible. But anyway, I don't, you tell me.
There's
it's
one
not our place to
more
say.
question. Yes, you've had your hand up. Yeah, so the comment is that she was excited to see Toronto portray itself and not be a stand-in for somewhere else. And Patricia, can you talk about the setting of Toronto and also what it's like to film and work in the city? To the production designers, Zazu, Myers, and to everybody making it, I said, if it can only happen here in Toronto, if it's something that's only visible here in this city, then put that in. I called it aggressively Canadian. But I feel like, we're just starting to find out what we've made, but and how it's received by the world. But it seems to not offend those that don't come from here. But the streetcar tracks especially seem to create almost post-traumatic stress disorder for a lot of people.
The settings are also, all the settings, most of them we wrote in the play because they're the places we hang out. And
Communist daughter.
We both, we're single 20-somethings living in Toronto, biking around drunk in the middle of the night in the winter. And so we wanted every detail. But not on the same bike. But not on the same bike, usually. But we wanted, to us, it's so pleasing to see something that's so specific, so true to a real person's experience, and to see it is, you called it a love letter to Toronto at some point, which I really like because it does feel like that to me when I watch it.
Can I just make one more comment? All of the music was composed, you liked it, by Amy in her closet with sleeping bags draped to absorb sound, a microphone onto GarageBand. It like never gets seduced into thinking that greatness, and I do think it's extraordinary what she's done musically. It needs technology of an extraordinary amount, and the two songs at the end are her writing. Norah is doing harmonies on some of it, since obviously in the musicals and everything they're both singing. But yeah, I love that about this, and I want to thank you for that.
Congratulations. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and congratulations to you all again.
Tell your friends, please, people. When you don't have stars, it's very hard to get people into the cinema. It really is. And human history, we have stars in the making, but we can't put them on a poster and everybody goes, oh, I'm going. So word of mouth, peace is the only way.
And remember to vote.